McPherson Douglass. I was born and raised in Bend. I'm a proud Lava Bear. And my husband and I were fortunate to move back here after about 15 years in Portland, Boston, and Oakland. And I currently run a national nonprofit called School Board Partners, which supports elected school board members around the country. And then my husband and I own 2 local small businesses, Cascade Relays, which up until the pandemic produced Bend Beer Chase and Cascade Lakes Relay, and the Haven Co-working, where we're sitting, which opened about 6 months before the pandemic and is a co-working and event space. And I'm the co-chair of the Bend La Pine School Board and the mother of 2 daughters. Politics have definitely changed since I first grew up here. We were a small town and our politics reflected that. We're now a city and we're getting bigger all the time. We're starting to see a more talented group of folks step up to run for office, so we're starting to see more contested races, which I think which is a really important part of a healthy democracy. But we still lack a lot of the critical infrastructure needed for a really vibrant political structure. We don't have a lot of organizations yet supporting candidates to consider running and to support the community to really organize around candidates. So I hope that moving forward as a community we'll continue to see that political infrastructure being built. So I'm one of the founders of the Strengthening Central Oregon PAC, also known as SCOPAC. We are a community PAC that supports local races in Deschutes, Jefferson, and Crook counties. And we really started in order to fill 2 gaps that we saw in the political landscape here in Central Oregon. One is that most of the existing PACs are industry or issue focused, and we're specifically not focused on any one industry or issue. We are focused on electing smart, empathetic, pragmatic, and bipartisan candidates who are interested in working towards policies that work for every member of our community, especially those that have been traditionally left behind in our economy. And second is that we wanted to see a more diverse set of candidates reflected in Bend, including women, people of color, people with disabilities, people from low-income communities, and people that identify as LGBTQ. And I think it's really important to understand why representation matters, so I'll give a couple of examples. If you've got a group of policymakers trying to determine the priorities of a transportation bond, and none of those policymakers rely on public transportation, for example, they're unlikely to prioritize that. Or if you have a set of policymakers that doesn't include a mother with young children, you're unlikely to see them prioritize childcare. On my optimistic days, I'm excited about the future of the party and politics in Bend, but I think we need to be honest that the future of politics is pretty grim if we don't change the way we support people to run for office. Running for office and being in office is a thankless job, and it takes away from family and work and all the other aspects of your life. And so it's not surprising that most people traditionally in politics have been retired or independently wealthy. And if we want to see a really diverse representation, mothers with young children like myself, we have to be honest about the costs and barriers and even how we treat politicians of both sides so that it's a job that more people want to take on and want to be a part of.